Hi, this is a bit of a different video where I want to show you what I've been doing for the past week. I went through a bunch of demos that I first made in 2015, as I find the code to be now really bad by 2021 standards. A lot of these demos relied on complicated and impractical techniques that only ever worked in Chrome and now don't work anywhere anymore, fortunately. And the sad part is, this collection of sliders is the most popular thing I've ever made, and the thought of this code, which I wrote, but is objectively bad code by today's standards and wasn't great even at the time when I first wrote it. The thought of this being copy-pasted and spreading was really disturbing. After 6 years I finally did something about that. Anyway, let's quickly go through the 36 demos I've updated. So there's this first one, which I actually first updated in 2017. At first, when I did these in 2015, I imposed this restriction of only using a single range input. So just one element, a range input. This led to really bad hacks, like creating this value using the pseudo element of the range inputs track pseudo element. So yeah, pseudo elements on pseudo elements. This only ever worked in Chrome, and fortunately doesn't work there anymore. So yeah, bad idea. What was I thinking? I also switched to using conic gradients instead of multiple radial or linear gradients to get this metallic look for the thumb, and I really simplified the JS. Now I'm only updating one custom property, and the size of this colored fill depends on it, and so does that value. Going back to using pseudo elements on pseudo elements, that's the exact same thing I did right here for these ruler values. And even worse, I use word spacing for the space between them, which of course was a terrible idea, and it broke and the whole thing looked horrible. So yeah, the single element constraint isn't necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a good thing because it can lead to resorting to these really unreliable hacks, and it's not always the most accessible solution. So yeah, better think twice whether it's worth making something single element or not. Also, I now know how to create multi-handle sliders, so yeah, that's a plus, an addition to the version from 2015. There is not much to these. Again, just simplified the code. Now I'm just updating a custom property from the JS, one per range input, and that controls the size of this colored fill. Same thing right here and here and here, and again here dropping the one element constraint, as well as here using an output element for that tooltip. This is a pure CSS one, so not much other than just cleaning up the code and resorting to more modern techniques, not using absolute positioning and switching to CSS grid, things like that. Same thing here, which is also pure CSS1. Same thing here, also pure CSS1, also pure CSS1 here. And for all these three, I am using conic gradients to get that metallic look instead of using, I believe for this one I used 8 linear gradients. So yeah, big difference. Compacted the code by a lot. And here, of course, using an output element for that tooltip. Same here, output elements for the tooltips. Same here. And again, I now know how to create multi-handle sliders. I wrote an article on this. It's going to be linked in the description. Now, oh, this is my favorite one actually, because it's using Houdini to get from the... So the values for the slider are in seconds, and I'm using Houdini to bring this into a minute seconds format. So I'm super happy with that, and the JS is super compact. Let's open this in a new tab because I really want to show you that. So basically what I have is add a JS class. There's a really nice fallback for the Node.js case, which doesn't display the tooltip and it doesn't display that remaining time because these get updated via JS. And also I add this Houdini class if it is supported, and then I have this updating of this custom property on input, and that's all the JS. So yeah, super happy with this. And this is probably my favorite one of all. And again, here dropping the one element constraint to get a more accessible and more reliable result. Same thing here and here as well. This is a pure CSS one, so again, just minor polishes to the CSS. There wasn't really much that was horrible other than the absolute positioning, and it's now using CSS grid. So again, with these same thing, just updating one custom property from the JS. Same thing right here. These two right here at the bottom, these are pure CSS. So again, not really much, just cleaning up stuff. This one, again, it's one I'm really happy about how it came out, how I managed to reproduce the result. This one is again one I really like because, as you see there, that result, that's all with backgrounds on the range inputs thumb pseudo element. So I'm layering backgrounds, I'm using the difference blend mode, which I wrote an article about and I'm going to be linking in the description, and then I'm layering on top another semi-transparent layer to control how light or dark it is. And again, I explained this in an article which is called Adventures in CSS Semi-Transparency Land. So yeah, everything is going to be linked in the description below. And again, no new techniques here, but just what I discussed previously, simplifying the JS. It's just updating one custom property. So yeah, these are the first 36 demos, and I will end the video here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!